Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Spook Coast to Coast.
Hey, y'all.
We have, as always, Joy and Joey, and I like you guys' background. Did you guys change your backgrounds?
Yeah, this is already saved, so I was playing with it. Well, I was the only one waiting for everybody to jump on. I was like, let me just play with the backgrounds.
And I don't know if you didn't have it last week, right? Because I was...
No, I usually, lately, I've been having that, which one I...
TV, right?
The TV.
The TV with the hand that's always grabbing my head.
It's like this.
It's massages.
Well, that would be funny if you put like its hand.
Right on his head, yeah. Usually I play with them because this is from when we first started, remember? Do you remember? Yeah. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it way back.
Cool. There's nothing wrong with a little old school.
That's right. That's right.
And as always, it's Jen and Mondo 305 Paranormal. We're wearing our 305 supporting sports team because the Dolphins won today.
But I wore it before they won, so guess what? I made them.
We made it happen. She manifested that shit.
Reverse jinx.
That's right.
At least your team won. Your team won, right?
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, mine
won.
Mine lost. Mine's been blowing.
That's true. Yeah, you gotta take those W's when you get them.
And they're playing in Europe also, so
that's
cool.
That's true.
So,
I wanted to thank Joy and Joey for last week holding down the chat room, you guys. If you didn't get a chance, Jen and I, we investigated Gold Coast Railroad. We specifically concentrated our investigation at the Zephyr cart, being that it's about to leave the train museum. So we wanted to investigate that cart. And I just wanted to thank everyone that tuned in. It was an awesome investigation, and it was, it was an honor to have you guys tune in and see how it is that we do our investigation and investigate one of our favorite spots. And I did want to thank Joy and Joey for holding down the chat.
I don't feel like I did, but thank you. It was very hard because the car, my phone was going like this the whole time.
I thought what was cool was we had a figure in the XLS pop up and sit in the seat in front of me while we were doing an EVP session.
Mm-hmm.
I was inviting Spirit to sit down in the many seats that were there. So we normally do get that, so that's good.
Yeah, it was very cool. So yeah, guys, if you hadn't had a chance to watch it, tune into last week's episode, investigation at the Gold Coast Railroad.
Yeah.
On to new stuff. We're all about bringing up the new guests and new episodes and things like that. So today we're gonna do a little different. Today I'm gonna kick it off to Joy, and Joy's gonna go ahead and introduce our guest. So Joy, please tell the good folks about our guest for today.
No pressure,
right? I know. Let me get my little notes that I'm not prepared for. So today we're gonna have Josh. He is a paranormal investigator. He bases his research off of more scientific side of things. He also does a scavenger hunt here in Pasadena under I don't know if you can say it, the bridge where people
right. We get you.
End of life, we'll say. So he does a tour scavenger hunt on that. So if you are in the area, make sure you guys check him out. And we will let him finish introducing himself. So yeah.
You want me to bring him on?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I'm ready.
Say hello to Josh.
Hello.
Yo,
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes. Yeah,
we can hear
you.
Good.
So for some reason, I can't hear you guys. Once I went backstage, my audio completely cut.
No.
So I can't hear you guys at all.
You can't hear me? Nothing?
What about now? Are you good now?
No, I can't hear you guys at all. Not sure why. Let's see.
That you gotta love life, folks.
That's weird.
I still can't hear you guys.
Testing.
Can you like go out and then come back in?
You guys are. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened. I heard the intro music and everything for the countdown, like everything was
And then it
going
just
normal,
disappeared?
cut out.
Oh,
Yep.
you have to rewatch.
Paranormal.
You'll have to rewatch the beginning to see if I introduced you correctly. I hope I did. I think I did.
I pulled you guys up on my phone so I could kind of listen in, so I knew what was going on. Didn't want you
Well,
to
how did I
like,
do?
Here's Josh, and I'm just sitting there like, what?
What's going on? We're waiting for you guys to introduce me.
Yeah, no, Joy, you did just fine.
Thank you. Okay.
So I'm Joshua 𝗟𝗡𝗩 from 𝗟𝗡𝗩 Paranormal Research, and when I can hear what's going on, I do a pretty damn good job at it. So I deal with more science side of things as far as paranormal goes. I do a lot of actual paranormal research. I use a lot of different pieces of equipment, and I show people how to use all that stuff along with some of the tools you see every day on the paranormal scavenger hunt down at Colorado Street Bridge in Pasadena.
Awesome.
Colorado Street Bridge. That's the name of it. There you go.
Caller, yes, I was trying not to say the S word because I didn't know if we're allowed. So I was trying to pull shit from my head, and I was failing badly. Can you tell us a little bit more about your scavenger hunt and what that includes, just in the beginning, so we can kind of let people know what you do if they're interested, what that entails?
It went out again.
Can't hear you.
His mic went out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't hear you.
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, that's what it is. He muted himself.
No, I think he muted
It's a
himself.
ghost. See, it's a ghost.
That
We
is-
were just talking.
That is
They don't want
crazy.
you to-
I didn't even
They don't
type
want.
it.
They don't want you to talk. They don't want you talking about it.
Apparently.
Yeah. They don't want you
Goodness.
talking about it.
So,
Only on Sleep Coast to Coast does weird shit happen.
right. So the paranormal scavenger hunt, I take people ghost hunting. So they get to go out with me. They each get their own bag that has different pieces of equipment in it. Each bag has a different type of investigator listed on it. And we kind of play a little bit of a game at the beginning where everybody's like, who's the scaredy cat? Who's the runner? So I have everybody named off. And it's fun to watch everybody kind of go back and forth. They pick for each other. Oh, you're this, you're that. And Nick says I do this on the podcast as well. Yeah, I'm also the co-host for Stories in the Cemeteries podcast. Yeah, but it's an interactive experience, so everybody gets to laugh love stories. So everybody gets to use their equipment, and I teach them how to use it. They get to basically run their own investigation with me kind of overseeing things, and I kind of lead them through each space. And at the end of the night, somebody wins, because it's a scavenger hunt, so there's got to be a winner.
Yeah.
And they get to walk away with, a paranormal T-shirt or a piece of equipment. And I'd put a highlight reel video together at the end of it, and it gets a score. So Nick at Stories in the Cemetery created his own system for scoring paranormal investigations. So we get to score out all the investigations. Everybody gets to kind of understand how haunted their night was. And I link all that together with any spirits we might have talked to. I pull up all of the, newspaper articles and information I have listed for all of the people that have jumped. So it's really, really interesting to see who we talk to, who we've interacted with, depending on, dates that people may have jumped, and other factors. So
that sounds cool though. That's
really
different.
Cool experience.
Yeah, it's different from just a regular tour type thing.
Exactly.
You're actually involving. Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. I'll have to take one. We'll have to take one of your scavenger hunts.
Is it always in the same place?
So I don't hear Jen and Mondo now.
Uh-oh. What the heck? She just asked, is it always in the same place? Oh, Jen, Mondo, I think your mic, I don't see talk.
No,
I hear him.
I hear you now.
Yeah.
What the
heck is going on?
I can't hear anybody.
Listen, ghosties, please back off.
For
James
real.
says
Let me
that-
see if
that
I can
sounds
plug
really
my
cool.
headphones in. Because right now they're Wi-Fi, so
Oh, it might be that. Maybe it's the
maybe
battery.
that'll make a difference here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because let's see our internet. It would have
Mondo, the Todd and Carmela said, Mondo and Jen blink 2 times if you're okay.
Exactly.
I'm struggling.
Go like this.
Oh yeah, you know the sign, the help
Oh
sign.
yeah. I'm being captured sign.
Yeah. Are we good? Can you hear him now, Josh? No, we can't hear you. Oh my God. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted
Wait,
again. Oh, there
there
you
he is. I'm mute. There you go.
Goodness, I don't know what is going on today.
go.
Well,
Spook coast to ghost.
it's called shenanigans.
Right?
Shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yeah, pretty much.
There's some serious paranormal shenanigans going on.
Wait, are you haunted? Can we say, are you haunted or what? What's going on? Is anything
I
is your house
should be.
haunted? I don't know.
Maybe the headphones are haunted.
Yeah, right. Do you
For real.
take
It's
those on an
crazy. These are the
investigation?
same headphones I use every single week.
And you never
we
had
do
issues?
recording. No, we record every week with these headphones. I use
I'm
them to
telling
review
you.
evidence, everything else.
I'm telling you. It's only on Spook Coast to Coast. Do you get to see live paranormal activity on a broadcast?
For real.
Right?
It's just fun too because we get to see like the folks be like nervous. Oh man, what the heck's
Yeah.
going on?
I hate that. When it happens to me, like I can't stand it. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, somebody's always having usually we're always having, one of us is having technical issues all the
Yeah,
time.
usually I
all
have
the time.
no problems whatsoever. So this is totally
That
out
is so funny.
No.
All right, well, hopefully they kind of just stepped aside for a little bit so we can get through the show.
right. So I think
Oh my
Jen, you were
God.
saying you were asked if it's
Well, I
always
was
the
asking,
same
like,
place.
do you always have it
Hey,
at the
Don.
same place? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, the tour is always at the same place.
Mhm.
Every once in a while I get to do like a takeover. So like I did one at the Omen House. So
Yes.
I got to take over the Omen House and do a scavenger hunt there. So might go back and do some of those, maybe next year. Currently working on a few other locations, so hopefully there will be more as we continue on. So, but it's I am paranormally special.
Just paranormal special.
It's my tagline from the podcast.
There you go.
Can you elaborate on that, please? No, just kidding.
It was hilarious because like I just came up with it one day and said it at the end of the podcast, and I'm like, you know what? I love that. I'm like, we're gonna do it every single episode. And he's like, you're gonna get us in trouble. I'm like, why? I'm like, we're paranormally special.
That's awesome. That is awesome. That's awesome. All right. So I
have a question real quick if you want to. I want to ask you about some cryptids I saw that you had talked about in your. Can you say something real quick? I'm trying to see if I can adjust your volume.
Yes. Can you hear me? All good? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No more technical difficulties.
I thought he was just gonna say yes, and that was it.
Yeah, Jenny was just fixing the mic's volume.
On your
I thought he was just gonna go yes, and then that's it.
No, so I saw you made a video about cryptids in, was it California or I think it was cryptids in California, I think, right?
So I did quite a few different ones.
Yeah. Do you and then you mentioned one in LA, and I was like, I never even heard of one in LA, which was called the Devil's Pet.
So the Devil's Pet, that was a really interesting story because it all goes around like a lake in the middle of LA, way back before the town was even put together. And it's basically the Thunderbird legend. So yeah, it's basically the same Thunderbird legend. Oh, we got a listener there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Coco,
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice. Very awesome.
So and I love cryptids. I look into a bunch of them all the time. When I was doing TikTok lives, I was doing like a paranormal special every other week or something, where we just talked about cryptids in each state. And I was trying to, find other people that did cryptid stuff that wanted to join in and help with that. And unfortunately, life is just so like clustered with so much stuff going on. I can't keep up on all of it. Doing my own investigations, the scavenger hunts. I just had a baby, so he's 5 months old now.
Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and then doing the podcast with Nick. Now we're doing watch party episodes. We started the Patreon, so there's a secondary podcast on the Patreon. So we've just got so much going on. I can't keep up with everything else I was trying to do.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Damn. You said congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
That's so cool. When you first mentioned the devil's pet, I was thinking because it was like mentioned it was a large bat wing creature, and I was like, oh, it's like the Jersey Devil, but
yeah, it's basically like if you cross-reference that with a bunch of other lore from different places between Arizona and California, there's a bunch of different versions that all kind of correlate together, and there's a lot of similarities in the stories.
Yeah,
and it's basically the Thunderbird story. And it's funny because there's this whole speculation, and you can hear it on a lot of different podcasts. People cover it. There's the whole cowboy standing in front of like a pterodactyl corpse, that they shot it down. Like there's a photo, but nobody can find the photo, but everybody's seen the photo. Like there's a whole bunch of people that they're like, I saw the photo. It was in a magazine at one point. And it's just like this thing, that everybody's like, I've seen it, but nobody can find it. And it's supposedly like they shot this thing down flying over the desert, and it was just a bunch of cowboys. So, and that's the same beast that apparently was hanging around a lake. It got shot at, it got stabbed, it got like, there was a bunch of like war over the area basically, where people were trying to take the area, and this thing kept running people out. And it's also like the same legend as far as like some of the Indian tribes in the area all have something to go along with the Thunderbird lore.
yeah.
So it's really interesting to see like the correlation for some of these cryptids.
Where? What area?
Between California and Arizona.
Oh, wow. Okay. When you said Thunderbirds, I laughed because Joey has a pair of Thunderbird shoes. They're so ugly. So I'm sorry if you see me laughing.
This is like, girl, what?
Wait, you're trying to embarrass me.
Oh
I just
my
thought
God.
of those ugly freaking
No,
shoes
they're
he
not-
bought.
It's not Thunderbird.
What is it?
No, it's Thundercats.
No,
Thunder-
whatever. Thunder something.
That's another cryptid.
They're Thundercats.
Are the ugliest pair of fucking shoes.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
Thunder, hold.
I know.
Now we're all showing our age.
I'm sorry. When I chuckled when you said that because I was like, oh my God, his shoes. I had a flashback of these ugly baby blue shoes.
Yeah, it was Lionel from Thundercats.
Oh my God, that's
I
so-
think
Of
Reebok
course.
made
Of course.
sneakers or something like that. I seen him. I was like, oh shit, that's old school. I wanna get a pair.
I don't know.
That's
Jen
funny.
and Jen and Joey have like almost similar tastes, so she might like them. I think they're hideous.
I know what they are.
That's
I know what
You know what they are?
Yeah, of course.
Do you like it? The question is, do you like them?
I used to like Thundercats.
See,
So, yeah, kind of.
me and Mondo are like,
Dude, I used to
we're like,
I used to love He-Man too. I was a big He-Man.
Oh no,
Fucking-
Joy, I'm not. I'm on their ship. I'm on their ship.
Joey,
oh yeah,
come on this wooden ship. Come on.
I'm a fan of Thundercats and
Thundercats,
all those
okay,
old
okay.
school cartoons, man.
Oh my God.
oh my God. Sorry, I had to take it off subject. Okay, anyway, sorry. Back to regular
Yeah,
school.
let's reel it back in, Joy.
Let's reel it back in.
I was gonna ask. You mentioned
Oh,
also the famous Patterson films. The footage. The one that
Right,
everybody's seen.
Patterson Gimlin.
There you go. He's like walking through the forest. Do you think? How about your opinion? Do you think that's a real capture or not? Let's put it that way.
So I totally think that Patterson-Gimlin film is real. It's so difficult to fake that kind of stuff, and not to bring up other podcasts constantly on your podcast, but if you listen to there's a 6-part series that Astonishing Legends does where they bring in like costume specialists and all this other stuff to talk about how likely it would be that they faked it. And even like the people that do the costuming and stuff, they're like, there's no way in hell they could afford to do what we see, because you see muscle movement, you see facial features, you see eyes, you see like things you can't fake and things you can't see through a mask if it's not applied professionally.
Right.
So,
and who was going to do that way back then? Also, like really.
Yeah, at that time, the amount of money it would have taken to create that costume was completely unheard of. Not to mention the material you would need. So spandex wasn't created at the time that film was made.
Yeah.
And that would be what kind of something they would need, is that kind of stretchy material to get that kind of muscle movement in the costume itself. So there's so many holes in like the theories people have out there for it's a costume, it's a fake, this and that. I totally think it's real. And it'd be absurd for us to think that cryptids aren't a thing.
Right.
We've been finding cryptids for hundreds of years. Giant squid were a cryptid. Kimono dragons were a cryptid. The platypus was a cryptid. There's all sorts of things that we find all the time. There's a new species or a subspecies of shark that was just found on Expedition X.
I think I heard that.
So, there's stuff that we're finding constantly, and these aren't tiny animals; they're giant animals.
Right. Somebody told me the dinosaurs and shit are coming back. Anybody else hear that?
That's probably
you. Maybe it was you at the 𝗟𝗏. I don't know. Somebody told me that. Did you tell me that?
Well, there's a company that has brought back dire wolves, and are currently working their way through other. Hey, V Team Paranormal. They're trying to go through and bring back the woolly mammoth, and then they're going to try and work their way into actual dinosaurs. So
so you were the one that told me that. I knew I wasn't crazy.
There's obviously not enough Jurassic Park movies to show these people it's a bad idea.
Right? Yeah.
We need more.
Hey, Mela.
Apparently.
I need a full-blown island.
Yeah.
I was like no Spanx, and I'm like, nah, Kim K would be
no Spanx.
So what do you think? Do you think cryptids are interdimensional? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think cryptids are just, they're just animals. Like, it's just animals we have not found and not figured out, because the amount of data you need to classify something not a cryptid is insane.
Right.
Like, you can't just find one and say, hey, look, I found one. Like, you can show a scientist, here's Bigfoot. Well, he doesn't have a family. There's no female Bigfoot. There's no children. There's no population. Therefore, it's still a cryptid.
Right.
Like, there has to be a sustainable like amount of them for it to be considered a real live animal, even if it's already there living in front of you.
So how do you think they appear? Like, they just disappear? Like, they're hard to catch on camera.
At least for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of these things, I would say it's probably just like any other animal. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be seen by people. They've probably had bad experiences.
Yeah.
You think about like some of the stories that you've heard. People shoot at these things.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're stronger, faster. More capable of getting through harsh terrain. So yeah, it's completely plausible that we haven't been able to come, close to getting actual evidence of these things.
So
and
you
if they're
think like
humanoid as we think, they could be burying, they could be burying their dead. They could have a structure to how they do things.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched to think.
Yeah. So like, say you were out in the woods and you seen one, and then 1 second they're there, the next second you're gone. How do you think they disappear like that? Like, they run?
Honestly. Oh yeah. Honestly, that as fast as they move. I mean, there's people that have taken video footage. You know, there's a video that's a famous video of someone filming up thousands of feet up on a mountain, and this thing just plowing through the snow, just going all the way across, and they time it and figure out like
Crazy.
One, that's way too high up, you know, for people to be up there without gear.
Yeah.
Two, for that person to move that fast was physically impossible.
Right.
You know, so you're talking about something that's bigger and stronger and capable of moving through deep
light
snow
kind of type
at
thing.
high altitudes. Like,
right.
I'm sure that thing will outrun me and anybody else that wants to outrun without a problem.
That's interesting.
So
that's interesting, your take on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a different opinion than I've heard, you know? Yeah, that's cool.
Have you ever tried to investigate one yourself out there? Like in
Well, you know, I'd love to go cryptid hunting. But LA doesn't exactly have the ability to go cryptid hunting. There's nothing here.
No, but
Like,
maybe go to like Redwood Forest or something. I don't know.
I would love to, honestly. I don't think I have the gear necessary to do a full cryptid hunting thing. I normally work alone, so I don't have like a team of investigators behind me or anything. And I'd have to find like a cryptid team to work alongside. So, and yeah, it's something that's definitely on the list. I just have to find a way to get to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, interesting. B Team says my First Nations elders told me that their ancestors talked about Bigfoot or
Sasquatches. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore.
Yeah,
a lot of lore in or like Native American descendant. Like, there's a lot of lore all the way across. They all have stories about some kind of Bigfoot type creature.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even 𝗟𝗓𝗃𝗃𝗃, you know.
What is that?
Something that's an actual proven creature from like I think it's Cretaceous era. And it's basically exactly what we think Bigfoot is. So it's a giant ape-like creature that's somewhere between like man and ape, and it walked on two legs, and it was like 8-9 feet tall. It fits perfectly to the descriptions of Bigfoot. So there's a lot of creatures you go back, and they can be explained by looking back at like Cretaceous period, dinosaurs, all that stuff. I mean, 𝗶𝗟𝗃𝗃𝗃 is the closest thing to describing what Nessie looks like.
𝗶𝗟𝗃𝗃𝗃.
So there's a whole bunch of lake monsters that all look just like how Nessie is described. And when you put those features down and actually like map it out and draw it out, it looks like a 𝗶𝗟𝗃𝗃𝗃. So there's one after another, like that kind of just continues to happen as you get some of these cryptid stories. And it's not far-fetched. I mean, especially with things like deep woods creatures, things that can get up into mountains where we can't get, into altitudes we can't handle, things that can dive down into the water into depths we can't handle.
Yeah. I just Googled it because I was like, I have to put a picture behind the thing. It looks like one of those things with a long neck. You've probably seen them in movies. Isn't there a movie on that?
This is the Loch Ness. Same thing.
The Loch Ness, kind of like the Loch Ness. Oh, wow.
Sean said, I lived in Michigan through my sophomore year in high school, and when I was a kid, they said they saw Bigfoot in the woods, and I was in the area where, we were in an area where there were a lot of woods, I mean, I believe it. A lot of people have sightings, so.
There's even people that have sightings and stories. And I listen to a podcast that has literally that. People call in and tell their stories. And there's a ton of stories of people that are like, I saw Bigfoot, and I told my family, and they were like, yeah, we don't bother him, and he don't bother us. And that's like,
they're like,
that's just how they. And they're like, well, why wouldn't you say something? They're like, so what? People can go out there and shoot it, kill it. Everybody that describes having a gun on this thing and seeing a Bigfoot type creature and pointing a weapon at it, they all say I couldn't do it because it looked too human.
Yeah, it's creepy. And like thinking about it like that, yeah.
Yeah, like there were people that literally were like, I'm gonna go to jail. Like, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble if I shoot this thing.
Yeah.
What so if it's like
dude in a jacket?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what people are so freaked out. And they're like, I can't do it. you know, and then they go back and think about it, and they're like, there's no way that was a real person, you know, but they're like, why am I going to mess with this thing if it does not mess with me? And a lot of like people that are very outdoorsy, they've been there, done that, they've done this for a good portion of their lives. They'd rather not mess with something.
Yeah, they have a respect for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's honestly probably why we don't have good pictures, good video, real life, you know, like creatures in front of us, is because there's more people that respect the fact that it's a living creature and would rather not screw around with it, you know, than there is people that are out there trying to find it.
Yeah.
Do you think that Bigfoot and cryptids can tie with paranormal?
I think so. The common theory around Bigfoot, in, you know, as an example, is that he used infrasound. So an infrasound is something that's known to be used by multiple types of animals. It's actually even something that they say the T-Rex was capable of utilizing, was infrasound. And when you see like all these TV shows, we need a Bigfoot Dundee.
not a crocodile Dundee, but a Bigfoot Dundee.
That's funny. I like that. But when you look at this as like, okay, well, what does infrasound do? You know, there's the frequency everybody talks about. And while we can't hear infrasound, we can feel it. And people always talk about like, oh, it's always quiet. You know, Bigfoot shows up, something's happening, everything goes quiet. That's an effect of infrasound. Other animals feeling that frequency and understanding, you know, that there's something dangerous and going quiet because of it. Like that's an effect of infrasound. So, and you have these people that, you know, all of a sudden they feel like there's something wrong. It's an effect of infrasound. So yeah, there's a lot of things, and we use infrasound in the paranormal. Nick from Stories in the Cemetery right now is running a bunch of different experimentation with infrasound on investigations.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what you guys go with that. Like, you know.
And what, maybe like stirring up activity?
Yeah, just to see if it stirs up activity or if it decreases activity. You know, because this is all just us in a different version, right? Yeah. It's us in a different form. Yeah. So yeah, and that's what we do with a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of the research I've done, a lot of the research Nick has done, it's all about, you know, trying to figure out better ways to interact, better ways to see how this all works, and finally start getting to a point where we're taken seriously as a science.
I'm interested in knowing, I don't know, are you still on the subject with you have any more questions, Jen, about the Bigfoot and stuff?
No, but he brought up something I was going to talk about as far as like research.
Yeah, me too. That's where I was going to go next. Yeah. Something about UV light being bad for spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to.
Yeah, so this is a running theory I've had since I started in the paranormal. And it started with me doing research on what's the best equipment to buy, you know, because obviously we get into the field and we're like, we want to buy good stuff that's going to work well. Yeah. So I did a lot of research and found that a lot of teams didn't use ultraviolet UV cameras. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, why wouldn't they use UV cameras? It's a better night vision than IR is. And I found that teams didn't use UV cameras because they didn't report a lot of activity. They just didn't get stuff on those cameras. Yeah. So I was like, that's really weird. So I bought a black light and I started using it on investigations. And I was like, you know what? While I'm at it, I'm going to buy a bunch of different colors. And this is like, 12 years ago. So you could only get like red, green, and blue because they're hunting lights that were strong, that were good high lumen flashlights. Everything else was like child's toy and you could barely see it in the dark. So I started using different colored lights on investigations. And I noticed every time I used black light, it seemed like they just really didn't like it. They were upset. I got a lot of like yelling and screaming that would come through the spirit box and things that sounded like they were in pain. And I was like, that's really, really weird. And it seemed like activity dissipated Like I turned on a black light, and it just felt like there was energy in the air and something that was pissed. And I shut it off, and it was like everything just disappeared. It was gone. And then I was like, okay, well, there's no more activity here. We got to move somewhere else. So I was like, this obviously has some kind of negative effect on the spirit. So over the years, I've been doing more and more research trying to figure out why that would be. And interestingly enough, 𝗟𝗶𝗘𝗀𝗃 from Ghost Hunters International said something similar. The year I started investigating, he actually did an interview. And he said, I think black light is harmful to spirits. And he kind of left it at that. So I reached out to him, talked to him, interviewed him, and we batted ideas back and forth. And we're on different like paths as far as where we're taking that information. And I think what he's doing with it is amazing. Like he thinks it's got something to do with the iron content in your body and that it has some kind of reaction. But he thinks it's definitely harmful. But he's gone, farther into other things he's been looking into. And I'm, still trying to track down, well, why? Why does it have this effect? What's causing it? And that all kind of breaks down to what we think a ghost is made of. So I was like, okay, in my mind, a ghost is electricity. It's an electrical field. I'm like, and it makes total sense to me that it's a EMF bubble. Because we run on electricity. We give off EMF, a slight EMF field because of the nervous system. You can't create or destroy energy. So when we die, in my mind, our bubble just kind of leaves our body, and that's your soul. This explains how they interact with all the equipment we have. It explains most of every occurrence that somebody's brought up. I've been able to explain utilizing, the soul as an EMF bubble as that theory. And it goes hand in hand with what I think happens with UV light. Because when you use UV light on an EMF radiation bubble, it causes a few different scientific processes. So if you use a UVB light, which is the normal black light we all know, you get something called photodislocation. And this basically causes a process where you destabilize air molecules, and the air molecules go looking for new electrons. So it's like you pulled the batteries out of the air. These molecules are now looking actively to put themselves back together. They need the electrons that you just ripped out of the air. If an EMF bubble is just hanging around, the air is going to literally attack that bubble for the electrons because it's the closest thing that has them. So it's a violent process, and it ends up causing ionization as the end result, or deionization.
So that's what the black light, right? The black light we're referring to, right? Okay.
Correct. And that's a UVB black light. And that's something we can see, right? We can see black light.
Right.
UVC light is much harder for us to see. We see very, very slight purple light from it, and that's all. And that causes direct ionization to an EMF bubble.
Is that like the what are those cameras called? When they do the purple picture?
No, those are that's full spectrum.
Full spectrum. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Full spectrum is UV light camera. And like I said, I don't use any full spectrum cameras because of my theory. And at this point, I feel like it works. I can prove that UV light causes this process with EMF. I ran experiments with a EMF pump and showed that shining black light on an EMF pump while it's running raises negative ions in the air. And I used an ion meter to show that it's actually working. So in a way, I'm backwards working through trying to basically prove what a ghost is. And I'm starting with what I think it is and how other things can interact with that and kind of working backwards.
So what do you think is the best light to use in?
That's actually something else I'm working on. I have
red for some reason. Red.
So
I
red
feel like-
is the bottom hertz, right? When you go through light, you have different hertz levels. And each light has its own hertz level that goes along with it. And the hertz levels also correlate perfectly with what we were talking about earlier in sound, right? So you have infrasound, you have all that's measured in hertz. Light can also be measured in hertz. Josh, have you and Nick worked any more with different colored light, red, green, etc. on investigations? So we'll get to that. I'm already headed in that direction, Todd, Camila. So red light is 400 to 484 terahertz. Then you have amber light, which I have. So all these colors are colors I actually have flashlights for now. Green, teal, blue, violet, pink light, which is interesting because it's actually a mix of light, and it's the only light I have that is a mix of two. And obviously ultraviolet light. So as of right now, red light seems like the best choice because it's low in hertz and should have the least effect on a spirit. What I'm starting to notice as I've been using all of these different lights, because I got the amber, the pink, and the teal recently and started using that. And I always use them for like questions and different things. So if I'm running a spirit box, I'll run and say, hey, like what color is this light I'm shining on the wall or shining on the floor? And I've gotten spirits to tell me, oh, that's blue, that's green, that's red. I haven't gotten them to identify black light, obviously, because it seems hurtful. So I've stopped using it in investigations unless there's something happening that I feel is negative. Is almost more of a defensive maneuver than anything else.
Right.
I got them to identify the teal light as blue. The only lights I haven't gotten them to identify are the amber light and the pink light. And I feel like the pink light might actually be the best light to use on an investigation because it's a mix of two lights. It's a mix of the high spectrum and the low spectrum light of red and violet. And so far, I can't seem to get anything to tell me that there's a light there that's pink. I don't know if it's just because they don't like the color or if they can't actually see that color.
See it,
yeah, maybe they can't even see it.
And that's what I'm kind of thinking is possibly happening. So I'm like, I'm kind of getting, trying to go towards that, see if that works while I'm continuing to go through everything else. I've gotten the best evidence using blue and green. Blue and green are kind of in the middle. You got green at 526 to 606 terahertz, and you have blue at 606 to 668 terahertz. And they're kind of your middle ground light. But when you look at experimentation people have done with live people using different colored lights, you see that like blue light was used originally in a city in, I forget where it was, but they used blue light in a city, changed all of the lights in that town to blue, and their crime rate dropped because it's a calming light. So green's not far from that. Yeah, green's not far from that blue.
Think about all the blue lights you see going around in your city street lights. There's a lot of things that people don't know that they do shit like that.
Yes. So we're seeing more and more blue light being put into cities, street lights.
In very hectic cities, you will see more of those blue lights.
Yeah. So and it's
I've
because
never
it's
paid
actually been
attention
shown.
ever. Really? Now I want to start paying attention. I'm like, oh shit!
Crazy mind. And then I started looking into it, and then because I'm really into color theories and stuff like that. And somebody mentioned, I think this is Nick, right? So is his name Nick?
Yeah, that's Nick.
So he said he gets responses for red, but never a positive one. I try to experiment with red myself, and he's kind of right on that. We get responses, but it's very like I wouldn't say it's positive nor negative, but you're getting some type of activity. But green also I think is good. We actually caught an apparition, and there was I tend to use a laser grid, and I use a green one. I've tried to experiment with the purple one or blue one. Like I was doing that myself just to see if I would catch something on a grid like that. Green is so far is what has worked for maybe possibly getting something. So like, yeah, I've been trying to experiment with different colors also.
See, we had one, but I went out and bought a blue one because I wanted to. I usually just go night vision and we sit in the dark, and then we like use our flashlights here and there. But I do want to start incorporating that 𝗟𝗂𝗧𝘂. But I know red when we used it for the first time at the Patterson house when I got freaked out. I don't know.
Yeah, you responded weird with the red.
It was
it feels like high.
Yeah, it heightened my senses. I thought I was seeing shit and trying to get Joey. I was like, what the hell? It was raining, but it was also raining too.
Yeah.
So it was raining and I was using the red. So there was two factors that supposedly, but I want to start incorporating that in our thing. And then he tells me I don't have flashlight discipline anyway, so that might be softer on the eyes.
Yeah. So
yes,
I
pointed at him and won't believe. Hopefully I don't hear him talking shit to me.
So I'm going to touch on what Todd and Camila were just saying in the comment there. So they use a full spectrum camera. Are you using full spectrum light? So, because it's the light that makes the difference, not what the camera sees. Because full spectrum cameras will see all light spectrum. They will see IR. They will also see full spectrum light. So if you're using a black light or anything else, it'll act as a light source for the camera, but it doesn't put off full spectrum light.
Yeah.
So you can still catch evidence using a full spectrum camera. It's just that the best light source for a full spectrum camera would technically be black light or dark beam or whatever some of the ones are called now.
Or the IR lights. We use IR lights with our full spectrum.
Yeah. So now, best way to show is a full spectrum light will be like a purple color, and an IR light comes off red.
Yeah.
He said, full spectrum light.
It's interesting. So I'm trying to figure out at what level black light is harmful, because a black light gives off a UV reading of 20. Now, during the day, you get UV readings from like 1 to maybe 12. It never gets higher than that. So, and if it does, it's because there was some horrible, crazy anomaly, like a volcano exploding can get like a 30. But that's all UV, right? So I'm trying to figure out at what level ultraviolet or black light is harmful. So I'm still working on that. I'd love to see some clips.
We have an ultraviolet flashlight. That's the one that you can look for like blood and
Exactly.
We have one. Exactly. I was trying to look. I bought it because I was looking for pet urine. It's just in case you guys ever but it also works on pet urine, but we never use it. I think we're gonna next time we go, remind me to bring it because I wanna test your theory and see if it
please do. I mean, and, just like they're saying, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There could be a lot of things in between. That's why we're doing it, though. We're doing it to continue to try and figure this out.
If we do it, I'll definitely let you know how it went and see if I notice a difference. But I do want to start incorporating the lights in our investigations for sure.
Yeah, because I even had a company that does like haunted items, and he was using it to simulate like the sun going down. So he was putting on UV light and then turning it off to simulate like day to night to see if he got more activity, and he got more activity after using the light. So, and he figured it was because they figured out like, oh, well, I can come out now.
Do you think
it's safe now?
Do you think it's the location that might have the problem with the UV light, or do you think has it been like everywhere you've gone and used it, you have the same response?
I've had the same response no matter where I've used a black light. I've never gotten anything but a negative response to a black light. And I've had plenty of like different scenarios happen. I had somebody scratched on an investigation. We turned on black lights and we walked them off that location. And it felt heavy, while we were doing it. And the minute we shut the lights off, it was like everything dissipated and it felt light and airy. I had people, same location. We were there and we were having rocks thrown at us. And we did the same thing. We turned lights on, black lights on, and it felt like thick. The air was real thick, and it felt like somebody was like looking over your shoulder and was just pissed.
Oh
And the
damn!
minute
Wow.
we shut the light off, everything dissipated. And
Could it be?
honestly,
Could it be opposite though? Could it be the UV lights attract that? Like, gives them more power, energy.
I mean, if it does, I haven't seen any evidence of it because every time
Right.
I shut off the black light, it's like everything dissipates.
Dissipates.
So,
Right. The
and
minute
I'm like,
you have
if
it
it gave
on,
them,
though. Yeah. But the
I'm like,
minute
if
you
they
have it
gave them
on.
more energy, I would assume more would happen.
Yeah,
But I don't
that's
get
true.
activity
Yeah,
when I have black light on, and I don't have
Mhm.
activity like after I've turned it off.
that's true.
But
Okay.
I also think that black light needs to make contact with that spirit.
Right.
Like it,
Oh, it has
the
to touch.
Yeah.
the ionization obviously happens on contact.
Maybe it hurts
So it
them.
has
Maybe
to
they're
make
like,
so it's
Yeah.
got to make some kind of contact. So I mean, yeah, I could turn on a black light and I'm over here and it's standing over here, and
Yeah.
obviously it won't do anything at that
like a
point.
vampire. You know how you shine the light on a
Yeah.
vampire in the movies, and they're like,
Yeah, so I don't know. In my mind, I feel like I'm on the right track because UV light's harmful to us. That's how you get a sunburn.
right.
That's
right,
what they
right,
use for tanning beds. That's what they use to kill germs.
Right.
So I'm like, it's got to do something,
Right.
and
I mean,
I can
yeah.
kind of like back it with the science I have gone into and looked at.
I'm
A lot
also
of
going to get
lights like that.
I also want a pink light now too, and a green. I'm gonna go shopping on Amazon.
Right,
You
flashlights.
said it's so
galore.
interesting. Yeah, it is very interesting.
Yeah.
And the
It
more
is.
you try to look into it and experiment.
Especially the black light, like the things that you can do with it too. You know what I mean? And then to use it in the paranormal field, that's very, very cool. That you even. I don't think too many people talk about lights in this field, do they?
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would think
it's
good.
it's something I hear more and more.
Mhm.
And obviously it's the select few. It's not the Sam and Colby's of the world running around in the dark. It's not the Zach Baggins.
Did you hear that, bro?
Like it's the
People who are really trying to
small-timers.
experiment, basically.
Yeah, it's the
Bro.
people that refuse to do the wrong thing for their, to make that goal. So it's like we're all kind of sitting here in the background doing the real work.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll catch on to it, and then they'll use it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So Nick's,
I wanted to ask you something about you investigated the Omen house a little bit.
I did.
Yeah. How was that for you? Like, very active.
It was an interesting experience. I did the scavenger hunt, and I did my own experience where I walked the house by myself and did a full investigation by myself. Nick's bringing up the moon UV theory. Nick's actually done a moon study.
Oh wow!
I'll veer to that real quick and then come back to the Omen house.
Yeah.
So Nick did a moon study, and it's also part of the reason like we started talking, because I reached out to him about his scoring system, and I bought the almanac and the workbook, and the workbook is basically like the whole system set up so you can utilize it and write all your stuff in for investigations. And I started talking to him, realized he had done a moon study where he mapped out what the moon phase was every night, because he does interactive ghost hunts as well. And that's what he does for a living. So he was doing it every single night, taking people out, and then he'd score every night. And he realized that his high scores were coming during new moons, which means there's no ultraviolet light whatsoever. Because when you're investigating and the moon's out, 10 to 20% of the moon, the light from the moon is coming from the sun. So you get 10 to 20% of that UV. So I came up with an equation of how much UV light is actually shining off the moon. And it correlates perfectly to what his evidence shows, which is you get more activity outside in a new moon than you do on a full moon. Now,
Really?
obviously, this would.
I kind of want to say I agree with that.
Wow. You would think the opposite, right? Bigger the moon,
So-
the more energy.
Right. So the more energy, yes, probably, because for people, it seems like there's more activity for live people on a full moon, but that's more than likely just because they can see better. During a new moon, you get less actual paranormal activity. And I was at a location where we had a full moon and I had activity, but I had it inside. So I had it inside 4 walls where UV light doesn't penetrate through walls. And I have people that have argued back and forth with me on this already. They're like, well, I had activity and I was at this jail, and like, you just used the perfect word. You were inside. Like, you know, if you're walking around outside, like I do at Colorado Street Bridge, like Nick was doing through the streets of Charleston, and now he'll be doing it in the streets of Pittsburgh. It's you know, the difference there. Sorry, one second.
No, you're fine.
Oh.
Hi, Josh's other half.
Sorry, I had the monitor for the baby.
Oh,
She just put him down for a nap. He'll be up in 20 minutes or so.
all right. Yep.
Yeah.
Never
So Nick brings up, like, we've published that in the Paranormal Almanac we do every year. So now we do a Paranormal Almanac where we get people that do some of the stuff like we're doing, and they write articles, and we publish that in the Almanac, and then he has all of his grids and all of his data that he's taken down for the last few years. So well over 500 investigations worth of data that he's given for everybody to look at and see, to start correlating, like, what is the actual best nights to go investigate, you know? Because some people, we get stuck with, like, oh, well, we paid to go, you know, to this location, and it's like, this is the only date they had available. But then you show up and you get no activity.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're trying to give people a better chance of having that activity, because a lot of these places are abandoned buildings. So there are no ceilings, there's no windows, there's no nothing blocking the UV light.
That's cool. I like that. That's cool though.
Where can people see the almanac?
Yeah.
So the almanac and the workbook are both on Amazon. So we're actually working on like a paranormal, like, how-to guide. So I wrote like 50 pages of it, and I've been working on it for years, and I sent it over to Nick. He's going to add some of his, and it'll basically be like a 3-book series now, where it's the Paranormal Investigators workbook, the almanac, and then like the how-to guide.
Right.
So
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do too. That's really cool. I like the
sharing
moon.
is caring.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I've been interested to see the moon phases and stuff like that too, because I kind of pay attention to that when we go. We used to do help host events at certain historic locations, and that's the first thing I look at is what type of moon is it during the event night, and it's always a full moon. Sometimes it's active, and then other times I feel like, I'm like, man, at first, when I first started investigating, I was like, I thought I was going to get more activity.
Right.
And you don't.
Yeah.
So,
that's what everybody thinks. Everybody goes out and they're like, I'm going out on a full moon. I'm going to have the best night of my life.
That's pretty much like, that's your typical movie. You get it from the movie type shit, Yeah.
And then they leave completely disappointed because they're like, I just sat in the dark and talked to myself for like 4 hours and nothing happened.
Not even a beep. Not even one little tiny beep. Now, what about so he believes new moon. What about the phases in between new and full?
So he actually has it all in the almanac with all the different phases, and he puts it breaks it down to percentage. So he breaks it down to percentage of actual moon showing every single night.
Okay.
And he includes like waning moon, or if it's forget the word for the other one. It's waxing. Yeah. So he's got all of that broken down in the almanac. Because this is all Nick's side of things.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I don't want to wait till a new moon to investigate for a lot of activity.
No, yeah. He's saying,
well, listen, we have a shot every single month, so
yeah,
it changes every single month.
I know, I'm like, dude, I don't want to go investigate one time a month. What is it? What is a new moon? Every week or month?
That's once a month. So
Once
the
a month.
moon phase. Yeah, moon phase is once a month, but I mean, all you gotta do is be inside, and you're fine.
Yeah.
See, like right now, we are in waning crescent. I use this
So new moon is like the fingernail, right? It looks like a fingernail. That's what I go like.
New moon is nothing.
Nothing.
New moon is
Nothing,
you can't see
Nothing.
anything.
Oh, okay.
So you
And
get
then
like
the
2 or
full-
3 days around, that you're basically under like 5%.
Joy, new moon this Thursday. Go out there and get it.
Yes, where are we
There you
going,
go.
babe? Oh, you work. Oh, shit. Yes, I'm going to myself.
And he disappears off screen as she says that.
Hey, Nick, what are you doing this Thursday? No, I mean, not Josh, what are you doing this Thursday? What are you guys doing? Yeah. Oh,
But,
man, yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah, but circling back to the Omen house, because that's Jen's original question. So I did my own investigation where I walked the entire house by myself. And I did my full investigation, and David actually recorded it and basically followed me through the house on his camera system, which was great. I actually haven't watched that all the way through. I haven't.
Did he yell at you through the camera?
No,
probably
he
did.
actually didn't.
Oh,
He didn't actually
Yeah.
do that. I was happy about that because
I love you, David, if you ever watch this. I don't think you will, but I love you, David.
he's probably
Yeah.
like, don't do that.
He did. He did.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't get that the whole night. I had
Good,
no
yeah.
interference.
Oh my
it
God.
was a really nice investigation, and I
Damn
had a good
cool,
amount of
yeah.
evidence.
Come on, John.
I had a good amount of stuff going. I am sad to say I have yet to go through and actually put that all together into a video and scored the investigation. So I'm very behind on my own stuff right now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get that caught up and get that video out because I really want to get that ready to go.
Did you get a lot of good stuff?
I did. I got a
I
lot of
think
really cool stuff.
Who was live? David was live, I think, when you were investigating.
He
And I
was.
watched it. I watched it for a little bit.
Yeah, so he was following me through the house.
His
Watching me as I
commentary is
investigate.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, he has his own special commentaries. He's going through
He's
and watching everything.
David is something else. If you guys
So
ever
he's-
meet David, yeah, he's funny.
It's
I like to go on his
interesting.
live and give him shit. He freaking gets so mad at me.
Yeah, it's an interesting interaction. I used a piece of equipment that night.
Yeah.
It's not a common piece of equipment that people don't know.
Right.
And it's an EMF mic. So it hears EMF. And so you basically have, and it's currently carried by 𝗏𝗏𝗽𝗀. And it's a little box. Actually.
Yes, go Pete.
We want to see it. Oh, good.
No.
I have the whole equipment rack sitting behind me here, so. So it's this little box here is an EMF mic. So I have it strapped to a K2 meter, and it's hooked into a recorder. So and it's got the headphones. So you put the headphones on, you record through the recorder, and you hear actively while it's recording what EMF sounds like. So
does it like sound like a
turn the
buzzing?
K2.
Oh, I remember. Yes, I remember you talking about that. Does it sound buzzing?
Yeah.
Like a buzzing? Like a
So it sounds like a buzzing noise.
Mhm.
There's a lot of really interesting noises that come out of electricity. And we put the K2 up on top, and I turn it on so that you can basically see what's going on as you're hearing what's going on. So it can correlate. Nick and I went back and forth. We both bought one, found humanoid voices in there. Yes. So we've been going back and forth trying to figure out the best setup, and we both finally got where it makes sense. And I used it that night. And then, like Nick was saying, he's gotten things that sound almost like a voice, like a human voice coming through in the EMF.
Mm-hmm.
I found, like, I scanned the whole house. I did all 3 floors. I scanned everything. I found, like, where David's wires are running. Like, I found where, like, his office was horrible. Like, you walk in, you're like, oh my God, the noise in here. And as I was recording, I walked out and I caught something. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, there's this noise. It sounded like a scratching noise. Almost like something was scratching on the wall, but it was coming through the EMF mic. And I was standing there and I'm like, what could this be? Because I'm literally at the staircase going to head down to the 3rd floor. And it disappeared. And I was like, what the hell? Like, electricity doesn't just go away.
Right.
running live wires or running live wire. So I went downstairs and I found it again in the bathroom in the
Guest bedroom
one of the guest
downstairs.
bedrooms.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, I found it again. And it again disappeared. And I walked out and I found it in the main room on the 3rd floor. So I basically was following something through the house. And it had the same EMF signature.
Yeah, it was like hide and seek with you, huh?
Yeah, so because it was such a distinctive noise, I was able to identify every time I came across it. So it had its own EMF signature.
Wow.
Which also lends to the theory that a ghost is EMF radiation, because that's what the mic hears. Funny enough, most of all equipment we use is on the EMF spectrum. So IR light is in the EMF spectrum, UV light's in the EMF spectrum, radio waves in the EMF spectrum. Everything up to gamma radiation is in the EM spectrum. So there's every device we use is in the EM spectrum, except for I'm trying to think, like some of our motion sensor stuff. But almost every piece of equipment you can name, it's part of the EMF spectrum.
That reminded me when you said that when we were live, he was watching you on his live. I don't remember if you were using the spirit box, but something happened to where it sounded like you were kind of underwater, but you heard voices underneath that. And it could have been just the live, watching a live from a live feed.
Right.
It could have been something like that, but it was just the weirdest thing because you can actually hear what sounded like conversation. It was crazy. And I'm not the only one that heard that. So I don't know. Nothing is paranormal. It was just very, I've heard it before. I don't hear it all the time, but I don't really see people doing live from a live either. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that traveled through it had something to do with, if it was paranormal. I don't know, but
right. So as Nick's also mentioning in the comments there, the EMF mic is really, really cool because you can take it and put it into Audacity or whatever sound programming you're using. The EMF spikes create a spike that's visible. So everything else is flat because it only records the EMF. It makes it really, really easy to go through because you can just go straight to each spike. If you didn't get anything for 5 minutes, you don't have to listen to silence for 5 minutes. You can go straight to the spike and be like, okay, there. It makes it so much easier.
Have you talked to an electrician to see if that could be anything that's like debunkable or like it's a normal or with the those waves with electricity or whatever?
So I haven't talked to any kind of electrician for it. I have talked to my brother. Actually works for a company I can't mention, but he does all that kind of stuff. So he works on electrical with like big machinery, basically.
Right.
And it's completely against everything science believes to have any kind of free floating EMF. So the concept of my spirit and what I think is a spirit science says isn't possible to even happen in the first place.
Right.
So to have any other kind of free floating electrical radiation or like a signal in the air, it shouldn't be plausible.
Right.
And things like Wi-Fi signal travel way too fast for me to pick up on something like an EMF mic.
Yeah. Just interesting. Is that like a normal sound electricity makes? Or, but I mean, if you're only hearing
interesting.
If you're only hearing it in different parts of the house, that's what makes it more questionable. It's like it's running from you,
It's running from you.
Like it's running from you. So that's kind of like, because I'm a skeptic. I think I told you that when we met. I'm a skeptic, so I'm gonna try to like think of everything that I can think of possible to debunk something. So that's why the reason I asked. But if it's running, it sounded like it was like what you heard was like running from room to room, trying to get away from you. Like it didn't want you to hear that it was there. Kind of.
So and it was really, really weird. Like and it's definitely something I recommend you guys pick up. Because you got to do a little bit of work putting it together and making something out of it. But it's a really cool piece of equipment to use. And it's just crazy to see what things sound like. Just walking around, like you put it up to, the light you use every day or, You put it up to like the
Yeah,
sockets in the wall,
yeah.
and you get a different sound from every single thing.
It's kind of
So-
like one of those, like if you've been on like a street light, you hear the buzzing, like a street light on the outside. You're that. Have you guys
Exactly.
heard it, Jen Mondo? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
buzzing. That's interesting. Yeah.
And
So
sometimes
good-
you hear it louder than others.
Yeah. So can you hear, is that the only thing you can hear is the EMF, or can you hear like?
Yeah, it's the only thing you can hear. So it doesn't pick
Mhm.
up regular noise. It doesn't record around you. It only
Mhm.
picks up the electrical field. So, like I said, it also, like, when you're doing that, you have to have something else running. Like, you have to
Right.
have. I had a camera on my chest,
Mm-hmm.
so like the camera knew when I started and it knew when I finished. So I was able to record, alongside it, basically to correlate video to
Right.
show where the video happened with the audio that I had correlating. So, but you have to have something running side by side with it. Otherwise you get lost. And then you're just like, crap, I don't know when I took, these readings. I don't know where I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you get a chance and you get that little clip, I'd love to hear like the sound of it, like what you were hearing. Like,
It's on
Is
YouTube.
it out?
It's
Is it
on
on
my
YouTube?
YouTube.
I thought I looked.
Yeah. So I went through and clipped
No.
certain things out and posted them because I was like, I need to get something up. I couldn't just not have anything after being like, oh, I'm going to the Omen house.
Is it
I'm
a
like, you gotta
short?
put something. It's I want to say it's like 5 minutes long of
Okay,
me
so it's a regular
walking, because
video.
I literally walk almost the entire house.
Right.
And
Walking
it's-
the Omen house
yeah,
alone, right? Is that it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll have to watch that.
yeah. So I posted quite a few.
What area was active for you there? Was it downstairs, upstairs?
So downstairs on the third floor, their third floor below, because his house it's basically the opposite of your normal house. It starts
Right.
up here and it goes down in floors.
Mhm.
So his bottom floor, the third floor, is where I caught a lot more activity than anything else.
Yeah.
Things seem to be more interactive, but I'm starting to think the more I've investigated the Omen house, the less I think there's a lot of spirits there that are all aware. It
Yeah.
seems more residual to me than anything else, because getting question and answer responses are so hard. Like, you get very little interactive evidence.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of energy. There was a lot of evidence. I got some really crazy spikes. The night I was there, where Joy and Joey were there, like, I had a millimeter out on the table and it shoot up. You get like a 60 EMF.
Well, that
Dead
REM
bell would
pod
go off,
too.
and
that
then the
REM
REM
pod.
pod would go off. It was like a
But
correlation
Dave,
every single
yes,
time.
So David had this oval table, and we had 2 REM pods, right? 2 REM pods,
I think there was 3. There was so much crap
and there was
on
like
that
2
table.
dead bells. But there's only one certain part of the table that the REM pod was going off and the bell was going off. We moved it.
Yeah.
We switched them around. Nothing. We moved it to that same area, and it was going off. I don't. Do you know if there was
Why?
anything?
So I looked. I
Nothing?
looked. I scanned it with the millimeter. I checked everything.
Mhm.
Everything I was getting as far as spikes completely correlates with what you see with paranormal activity. It shot up. You get a really high spike, and then it dropped all the way back down to zero.
Right down.
And
Yeah, I
that's
don't-
completely uncharacteristic of any actual electrical device and or field that you should be reading.
So the movie room, right? Because Jen, we actually did an episode at the Omen House, when we first started the podcast, right? You guys?
Yeah, it was last year.
Last year.
Yeah, last year. And that movie room, I think we focused more on that room, didn't we? On the show.
That's where we were getting a lot
Yes.
towards the end. Yeah.
So you feel like you got most activity in the movie room then?
It definitely seemed like it was the best for activity. And then the
Right.
second floor, where he has like that
The hallway
washer,
at the end.
dryer, like
Yeah.
weird setup,
mhm.
that seemed to have a decent amount of activity going on.
It's
that-
almost like along the dirt wall, closer to the dirt wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that dirt room, like, I took
Yeah.
the EMF speaker, like I took the mic over to it.
Mhm.
I got EMF off the dirt. like the dirt room where because he just has that wall of dirt.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's ashes. I think one of his friend's mom left some of her
there's
ashes there.
down there
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
in that room.
well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I
She's sprinkled
didn't
some
know
of her.
that.
Yeah. Know that either.
But,
And then she's like, "What do you think of the earth room?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't like it because the dirt smell." And she's like, "Oh, my mom's in there." I was like, "That's the only reason."
Oh God.
Her mom should have.
Oh, I love it. I'm sorry. I meant I love it.
Smells so great.
Yeah, but
That's the only reason I know. Yeah.
that area gave off EMF. I'm like, that's not right. Like, I shouldn't be getting a signal from dirt.
Off of dirt. Yeah.
And then I took it. I went upstairs. I went outside, and I went to the hill, and I got the same signal, same noise.
Hey, Cindy.
So I'm like, what the hell's running? And it correlates with I forget his name, but the paranormal researcher that was there that said that there was weird energy about the house.
Was it that night? I don't remember who was there.
No, it's the one that David has like all the big like things. He's like, this is the papers that he left here, and this is all the stuff he left us.
Somebody, right? Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is either.
Yeah,
but he talks a lot about him. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, it's weird. There is actual energy running through this, like the ground. So the fact that I was getting like some kind of pickup off of the earth, off of the dirt.
Could there be any wires running through there, you think? Did David say if there's any
It shouldn't be.
There
shouldn't be
There
anything.
shouldn't be,
There should be
right?
anything in that dirt under the house.
Yeah.
And just to, like I said, to debunk that, I literally went all the way up to the top, went outside his house, across the way to the dirt going up the hill, and checked that, and it had the exact same signature.
And remember, in the ground, it's supposed to be grounded. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah. So I mean, there should be a base EMF that the earth gives off, but it shouldn't be that loud. Like, it was a loud noise.
Wait, maybe something's with land. Maybe something.
It could very well. It could very well be the land is causing a lot of that. So I mean, it's not like David's house is pinpointed directly on top of everything. So it's weird that everything seems to correlate through there.
Yeah.
So honestly, it could be that most of the energy is coming from that dirt.
Yeah.
And it's kind of powering whatever is hanging out in the house.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
and as many people coming through there, I mean, who knows what state behind either. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's one of the things I talk about, with my theory on spirits and what they're made of, is that for something like that to exist, it has to have some kind of core. It has to have like a base of operations where it can go back to and recharge. And that's your basic, your basics for electricity, is that you have to have some type of
like a charging station, station.
Yeah. So it's capacitor. That's
capacitor.
The word's a capacitor. It has to have a capacitor. So, and for them to have that capacitor could very well just be the earth that's in part of that house, because it's literally open. You walk in and just kind of like, here's the dirt.
I wish we could talk to his neighbors.
I'm sure that would go into a completely different, like.
I know. I'd be like, hey, I'm just here investigating. You have any activity?
I'm sure there'd be a lot of very interesting conversations
if
we were to talk to the neighbors.
Yeah, I wish.
But most of them, I think, are probably upper echelon.
We talked to the guy that owns the Sharon Tate was murdered. He let us in his driveway and turn around. Yeah. Yes, I should have asked him. Can we investigate your house?
I don't know who the dude was.
Oh, he was pissed
because he had to call somebody inside to say, hey, can you open the gate? And because I was like, I can't turn around.
Our car was so big. David's street is so, dude. It's like this. God. Imagine a cell phone. You got this big ass car trying to, turn around this little street. It's very, very tight. You can't. It's impossible.
Yes,
so we had no other, because that night we met, there was so many cars there, and it was very limited. So anyway, the guy comes out. I'm like, hey, can we use your driveway to turn around?
So he opens up one side, and I'm like, I can't fit. Like, I don't want to hit your gate.
Oh, he was mad. He was
got mad. I
annoyed.
was like, can you get in my car? And because I don't want to drive all over your property. Like, where do I turn around?
Oh, but he was nice enough to let us go, but he was not happy. He could tell.
Yeah.
But David did say he's not very friendly, so I was very grateful.
Yeah.
So did you get a glimpse of the house though?
Oh, as soon as the gates open, there's a driveway that goes down. So
Oh,
I
it
was
goes
like,
down?
one side goes down to the left, and then the other side goes forward into the front of the house. So I went. Hey, had he not told me, I don't know which way I would have went.
You should have been like, yeah, we're just here, investigating.
Yeah. So when I went forward, he got in my truck, and then we pulled forward. I did a loop around the front of the house. A massive house.
Yeah. See, so if we ever go back and I see it, I'll be like, hey, remember us? We're the assholes that asked you to turn around in your driveway.
You just pull in and be like, we're the electricians. We're here to
Yeah,
check.
yeah. So we did talk. We have a little bit of a relationship, me and the people that live there.
A little tiny bit.
a little tiny relationship. Maybe we can.
There you go. Yeah, that street is horrible.
Oh, it's so bad.
That
I
street
know.
is absolutely.
Well, I mean, all those streets they look very, very narrow.
It's not even a
It's-
street; it's a driveway.
It's a driveway.
It's
that
a
leads
driveway.
up to like 3 or 4 houses that are in that
Technically,
driveway.
technically, it's considered a driveway.
So if you have a small car, you're cool.
Mhm.
But if you have any like an SUV truck,
Big ass truck, no.
and there's other cars there, you're gonna have a hard time. You need to go backwards.
Unless you just don't know how to turn around, because there was a whole ass like a truck, like a minivan that came up the street, and she's like, and she got her ass out of there. You just go, maybe you know how to drive.
I drive a Subaru Forester, and I turned around in the guy's driveway next to the house.
Yeah,
I was able to.
This lady was like
turn.
she was in a full ass utility van. You know those big ass ones?
No.
Yeah, she was. Because even the ladies that were there were like, "You did it."
Yeah, but my truck was bigger than that.
It's just because
No,
you didn't want to take it.
Was able to do the Austin Powers.
Exactly.
Oh man, Josh, thank you very much for spending your Sunday with us. We definitely appreciate it. I know you got to probably go back to dad duties, but before you go, can you please tell the good folks where they can find you?
Yeah, they can find me on pretty much every social media platform under 𝗟𝗏𝗪 Paranormal Research. They can also find me on pretty much everything you see Stories in the Cemetery. I'm on obviously the podcast for Stories in the Cemetery.
Wait, do you have a YouTube for that one or no? Stories of the
There's
Cemetery?
a YouTube. There's a YouTube for that. We have the podcast. Nick has it's his business is actually Stories in the Cemetery.
Nice. Okay.
I'm part of the podcast, and I'm part of basically the team for everything now, because we do the Patreon. We do all of the other things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on there's so much going on with it. We're working on a paranormal network for podcasters and different things like that. Yeah, because so much like you have to pay, you got to pay $35, $45, $65 a month, for a paranormal or some network to be like, oh, hey, look, there's a podcast.
Yeah.
And they're not helpful. So we're like, you know what? Screw it. We can't find a good one. We're going to make one. So we've just been trying to do more and more in the paranormal world. So anywhere between those two, you can find me pretty much everywhere.
That's awesome. I just want to say thank you for coming on, taking the time. I know you're busy.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. And chat room, thank you guys for being super interactive with us, with our guest today. And the best way you can show the four of us love is by showing our guest love. So please go ahead and support Josh in all of his upcoming research projects. Now he's going to do his own network. So support everything that Josh does. And
especially the paranormal rule guide. I know you do. You do your peers.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, I would love to have you and Nick back. Yeah.
Yeah. No, let me know. I'll get Nick on. He's in Pittsburgh, so he's 3 hours ahead of everybody else.
I want to know more about that new moon. I think Jen knows more. She knows a little bit about this. I don't know nothing about the new moon, full moon. I just look at the sky and I'm like, oh.
No, definitely. And Nick will love to come on and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to have you both on here. But yeah,
No, but thank you guys.
that's all. Awkward silence. I think we're all just kind of tired. I know Jen Mondo had a long week, so they're kind of like just.
I hear that.
Have a long week.
Yeah.
Surprisingly long week.
Surprise. Well, Josh, thank you
Awesome,
for your
Josh.
time. And yeah,
Yeah.
like Joy was saying,
Yeah.
we would love to maybe have you and Nick on in the future. Maybe if
Yeah.
you do set up
That'd be cool.
that network, we
That
can
too. Yeah, that'd be really
talk
cool.
about that. Your line of books that you have coming out in Amazon soon. You know, we can promote that as well.
There was
Yeah.
some more. I had questions here that I didn't even get to touch on. So
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're like going down a rabbit hole with driveways.
It's all good. The whole 𝗏𝗏𝗽𝗏 topic it's an interesting
it's
one.
the David
Since we all-
Ullman driveway. We went
since
down
we
that
all
path.
It
know-
is.
Ah!
It is.
Literally.
That was the highlight of the show,
So-
y'all.
And the almanac, the workbook, and the Paranormal Network are actually all live. So those are all out, ready to go.
Yes.
It's only the like the how-to guide that we're still working on putting out.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys make sure you guys show some love, please. Josh is a super cool dude, very scientific based, which also makes it awesome.
You don't make your own
Well, thank you
equipment, do
guys. No, unfortunately, I'm not that smart.
you? Okay.
Not yet.
I can.
Not
I
yet.
can
It might come in the
I can
future.
read about it.
YouTube University. You never know.
Yeah.
Right? I can read about the equipment. I can learn how to do it. I can learn the science. Putting it all together is just not my thing.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
all right, y'all.
Well, Josh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time. And folks, next week we are the week. What is it? It's pre-Thanksgiving week, so we'll be back Sunday night.
We'll be back
well,
Sunday.
Sunday night for us, Sunday afternoon for you guys over there. So we will be back with another live show this coming Sunday. But as always, please remember, if you want to get spooked, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and please feel free to comment on this episode. Tell your friends, tell your family, watch Spook Coast to Coast. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good night.
Bye.